to a new video, everyone. This is part 2 to Dear Take Me With, Not Back. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. A Heavy Pain, Chapter 8. I wake up with N still on my shoulder. I roughly shake him off and walk to the kitchen. I grab N's crossbow and walk right out the door, not caring if I'm breaking N's rules. I walk down to the ocean and collect driftwood and rabbit hide. I then collect crab meat and lemongrass. I start a fire with the draftwood I collected and cook the crab meat. I eat the crab and immediately go back to taking my frustration and out my anger and frustration. I pulled out the axe that I had also snagged and began stabbing a huge log. Die, stupid freaking log! Ugh! I look at the messy scene I had just made and sit on the log. I stand up and walk. I just walk. I don't stop for anything. You know what? I'm going to walk until my knees give out. I'm going to walk until I die of thirst. I have nothing to lose anyways. 5 hours later, I'm still walking. I finally collapse. I lay in the sand, staring up at the cloudy sky. I'm really unlucky, aren't I? I close my eyes as rain starts speckling my face. After a while, I start heading back to the cabin, expecting to be hit or beaten for not following my master's precious rules. I get to the porch of the lodge.
What's happening on the porch?
Shut up. I get to the porch of the lodge and open it. N is standing right in the doorway, looking pissed. I shove past N and lay the soaking wet weapons on the table. I take off my sweatshirt that had been completely soaked by the hard downpour and threw it at N. I've had enough. N walks over to me and struck me across the face, sending me back to being 4 years old and my mother slapping me for showing literally only human emotions. The force sent me stumbling back against a wall. I slide down the wall and not daring to look back at N. My heart races as I expect another hit, maybe with a bat this time, just like my dad would. I tremble violently and whimper. I refuse to cry. No, not again, not again. N's furiousness breaks by just the sight of me, and falls to his knees and holds me tight, rocking back and forth. Oh no, baby, no. It's okay, shh, baby, it's okay. I won't hurt you ever again, I'm so sorry. And kisses me, drowning out my developing sobs from being so incredibly overwhelming, and quickly slides his arms under my knees and back, picking me up. Me being so tired and overwhelmed by everything playing out in just a few hours, I grip onto N's shirt like it's a lifeline. N brings me to the bedroom, still kissing me, saying whispered apologies between each kiss. The once heavy, distressing moment unfolds into something deeper, more intimate. N places me on the bed, slowly stripping away my clothing, leaving me vulnerable and unprepared. And swiftly takes off his clothing and mine and presses our bodies together. I felt weird and overwhelmed by everything that was happening. And picked me up once again and slides me higher up on the bed. He pulls the covers over us and completely melts into us. My head screamed 1,000 times to stop this, but I still go against it and stay under N's warm body. I can't remember when we stopped or when it happened. It's just a blur in my memory now. I wake up the next morning wearing N's shirt and my boxers. I slide out of bed and almost instantly crumble to the floor. My legs sore from last night. Every step is a reminder of what me and N did last night. I carefully build myself up again so that I'm standing and walk to the bathroom. my neck to find deep black and blue bruises. Oh, really? He had to do this? Oh, of course. Why wouldn't he? I don't feel good. I brush my teeth and take a shower. I get dressed, feeling refreshed and ready for whatever life throws at me. I go out to the living room to find Anne nervously fidgeting with something on the table. I walk past Anne and make myself a hot chocolate, letting Anne know that I'm not bothered by what he did. Anne awkwardly stands up and tries to give me peace offerings. Talking's a thing, you know that? Just tell me what you need. Anne freezes, trying to put words together, but ends up just making absolute nonsense. Last night, sorry? I stop stirring my hot chocolate and turn around. Anne, you good? You sound like you are having a stroke or something. Just talk normally. Anne chuckles awkwardly. Yeah, right. And sits back down at the table before I join him with hot chocolate. And looks at me, looking guilty out of his mind. Speak up if you want to say something. I can't hear your thoughts, you know. And lets out a frustrated huff before finally finding the words. So, Zuzu, I'm really sorry, but last night I cut him off. Don't stress. I love you. I'm sorry I acted out my anger at you by ignoring and disobeying your rules. And looks at me before saying his own apology. I know sorry won't fix anything, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry for ever raising a hand to you. I'm sorry I forced a situation onto you that you couldn't fight against. I'm sorry for not showing my support and love that you need to feel safe for once. I love you, and the hospital would have needed an ID. I couldn't be there. And I wish I could, but if they saw me, I would have to ID you, but I can't. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. And I love you too damn much to lose you. I look at N very unimpressed. N, that was really cringe. Just get me Starbucks, and I'll forgive you. N rolls his eyes, but a small, genuine smile finally breaks past his guilty face. We left the uncomfortable topics on the kitchen table, just so we could talk about them when we were comfortable. The next few weeks felt different. Ever since that initial hit, I tried to forget it, but my body wouldn't let me. If N came into the room unannounced and started talking, I would flinch. I always saw how hurt N was when I flinched, but he knew what he did. One hell of a day. Chapter 9. The next 3 weeks crawled past quietly, the tension between me and N softening. I started feeling like things were finally getting better for me. No more drama, just a quiet, comfortable life with my love. But of course, peace comes at a price. I make my hot chocolate that I started adding to my morning routine after 3 weeks ago, and get completely caught off guard by the taste. My stomach violently churns. I curl over, vomiting everything in my stomach. I stumble to the bathroom before collapsing over the toilet seat. I grab the toilet seat, staring at the floorboards. Behind the nausea was something deeply wrong, like an absolute wrongness in my chest. My chest heaves. I try to slow my breathing down. I force myself up and just try to keep going. The last thing I want to do is act like a burden or get in the way again. My life was just starting to get better. I don't need it to come crashing down on me again. I shuffle to the bed and lay down, hoping sleep would make me feel better. But it only made things worse. I wake up a half hour later and jolt up to the worst nausea I've ever felt in my whole life. I hunch over, crying out in discomfort. N hears me and runs to me. Baby, what's wrong? Tell me. N reaches his hand out to touch my face, but I flinch back. N freezes, looking more guilty than ever. Sorry. N tries to help, but I push him away. I'm fine. Really, you don't need to worry about me. I try to stand up to prove my point, but I end up just throwing up all over the carpet, just like I did a half hour ago in the kitchen. N looks at me with worry. My darling, please tell me what's wrong. Do you need to go to the doctor? Honey, look at me. I need to know what's wrong. N talks to me with the softest voice he could. I look up at N, my lips trembling. I don't feel good. I fell into N's arms, soaking his shirt with tears, and picks me up and takes me to the bathroom. He sets me on the ground near the toilet and holds my hair back. I cry and throw up anything my stomach has left. And I don't feel good. Anne just holds me, whispering over and over that it's going to be okay and that he loves me. I'm exhausted. I lay my head on the toilet seat and close my eyes, feeling like my heart was going to jump out of my chest. Anne turns my face slowly to look at him before wiping my mouth with a cloth. Anne kisses me so lightly I almost didn't feel it. I lean into Anne and just let him hold me. Please don't go. I'm sorry that I'm causing such a mess. You can go back to whatever you want. And cuts me off. My sweet, sweet boy, you are my whole world. I've only known you a month, but it feels like I've known you for years. I never knew I could love someone so deeply it hurts. Sweetheart, you will never, ever be in my way. I want you to be there on my own terms for what you need me, for when you need me. I want to help you. I want to love you. I want to be yours. I look up at Anne with horror and fear and something sweet that I couldn't name. Please don't joke like that. It's not funny. Anne holds me tighter. Love, I will never joke about something like that. I'm telling the truth. I don't want to be away from you, not even for a second. I try to hold back my tears, but it's too late. My face instantly becomes scrunched up and tear-stained. I bury my face in Anne's shoulder and sob. Anne picks me up and gently lays me on the bed. Anne lays down next to me, playing with my hair while kissing up and down my chest, telling me how much I matter to him between each kiss. I feel like it was a trap, but for some reason, I wanted to be caught in it so badly it terrified me. I shut down this time before being I shut down. This time being 8 years old when the first people who ever fostered me took me home. The first and the last house I ever felt safe in. After fostering me, they decided to adopt me. A week after they adopted me, they were shot and killed by police because they were black. I never let my guard down again until now. I was 8 and the police killed my parents right in front of me, loading their lifeless bodies to a funeral car like they were just a bag of garbage. At that moment, I grabbed the gun from the police's belt in one swift motion and shot them 12 times in the arms, legs, groin, shoulder, spine, torso, feet, hand, ear, both eyes, and finally in the head. I wanted to make sure he was alive until the very last moment. I watched him suffer, and I laughed in his face. I don't regret it, but now that it's replaying in my mind, the way blood splattered all over me, I finally realized what I did. I'm a murderer. For 9 years of trying to convince myself that it never happened, I know what I did. My mind turns into 8-year-old me, running away into an abandoned building before almost shooting myself at the loss of my parents. That moment was the most traumatizing and scary thing to ever happen to me. My mind fades to black before coming back to the present, hearing Anne frantically call my name and shaking me roughly. I look at Anne with emotionless eyes, so dead they look like they were rotting. I close my eyes and open them again to find that I feel so small, like a little kid being lost in the middle of nowhere. I look up at Anne with glossy and small, terrified eyes. Who are you? Where's Mommy and Daddy? They were right here. Where'd they go? Anne stops and stares at me with horror, realizing I don't recognize him. Zuzu, it's me, Anne. Don't you remember me? I look up at Anne, confused and scared. Who is Zuzu? Is that one of your friends? Please let me go so I can find Mommy and Daddy. They're probably really scared right now. Please let go of me. Anne looks at me with devastation and confusion. What do you mean your name isn't Zuzu? Isn't that your name? I look up at Anne like he's going crazy. No, my name is Lexine, not Zuzu, silly. But seriously, just let go of me, you weirdo. And stumbles back away from me, looking heartbroken and lost, like he missed out on something that would make this whole thing make sense. I start to cry, nausea hitting me like roadkill. Sir, I don't feel good. I start to sob and louder and louder while getting choked by vomit, and rushes over to me and helps me off the bed into the bathroom. I weakly try to push N off, but instead fall like a rock onto the hard wooden floor. I start to scream and cry, overwhelming myself because my own screams and cries were too loud, but I couldn't control myself at that moment. And panicked, not knowing what to do, and eventually falls to the ground next to me and helps me over the toilet seat to vomit. Before N could help, I faint. I'm pregnant? Chapter 10. An hour later, I woke up feeling groggy, but okay for the most part. N, where are you? I frantically look around the room, after jumping up off the bed and almost face-planting into the ground. I quickly move around the room, trying to find N. My breathing quickens, and I feel my eyes start to sting with tears. Just as I'm about to completely fall apart, N walks into the room. I jolt towards him and cling to him like a koala. Baby, what are you doing? You need to rest. Your body is so exhausted. N picks me up, and I whine when he slightly pulls away. Okay, I won't go anywhere, I promise. I wrap my legs around N's waist and my arms around his neck. Please don't go. I need you. And holds me and holds my body firmly against his. I breathe in his scent, something sweet mixed with wilderness. I close my eyes and finally loosen up, but that relief doesn't last long. I immediately tense up again, realizing I can't remember anything that happened in the last 2 hours. I tighten my hold on N and my heart rate quickens. I start to feel dizzy, needing fresh air instead of N's intoxicating scent wrapping around me tightly. I need a minute, and looks at me with concern. Are you sure you can be okay alone right now? You don't look so good, and I don't want you to get hurt, and me not realizing it until it's too late. I look at N with a drowsy smile. I'll be okay, N. I stumble out of N's grasp and shudder to the door. I swing the door open and breathe heavily. I grabbed some money from my bag that was completely soaked from the storm and stumble to a nearby pharmacy, the one that was really sketchy, but the only one that had medicine. I hold my breath as I buy 2 things: pregnancy tests and abortion pills. I hurriedly ran to the bathroom and used the pregnancy test right then and there. I waited in the stall, not daring to look at the pregnancy test. After a couple minutes, I finally get enough courage to look at the test. I whimper. The test was positive. I double-check, hoping I was just seeing things, but no. 2 faint red lines, just visible enough to see. No. I can't be pregnant, right? Haha, this thing must be damaged. No way I'm pregnant. I walk out of the stall, throwing the positive test in my pocket. I go out and decide to purchase one more thing. Painkillers. I pay for them and return as quickly as I can to the lodge, where N was standing in the porch looking worried out of his mind. Where were you? Do you know how worried you made me? Don't just run off, get it? I don't look at N. Instead, I tighten the drawstrings in my hoodie to hide my face. Sorry. I walk past N without another word and lock myself in the bathroom. I take out the pregnancy test and the abortion pills and stare at them, feeling more hollow than a skinned person, rotting and slowly melting into paste, leaving the person with bones and nothing else. I felt completely numb, so incredibly numb. I slowly unboxed the pills with trembling hands. I placed 2 green capsules in my palm and stared blankly at them. I lift them to my lips, ready to take them, but before I could, I get startled by N pounding on the door. Honey, please come out. What's wrong? Please tell me. You know you can tell me anything, right? Baby, please answer me. I don't want to have to use my magic to open this door, so please just come out. I don't answer him, tears trying to form but can't. I squeeze my eyes shut and place the pills in my mouth, and forces the door open and sees me on the floor with a pregnancy test and abortion pills scattered on the ground. I didn't swallow the pills just yet, but that turned out to be a bad idea. The pills began to melt on my tongue, making my whole mouth taste super bitter. I spit the pills out, to try to get the taste out of my mouth. I panic after realizing when I've done and try to grab new ones to take, but N firmly grabs my wrist before I can do anything. I sink back into myself, feeling too numb to care anymore. Fixing damage and love. Chapter 11. Oh, baby, no. Honey, please tell me you didn't take any of those. Baby, don't do this. Oh, sweetheart, please tell me you didn't take any. And pulls me into his arms, cradling me. Honey, you didn't have to hide this from me. Baby, it will be okay. You don't have to be scared. I will be here for the whole time. I try to keep a neutral face, but break into tears instead. And I don't want to have a baby. I can't do this. I don't want to have this stupid baby. I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want to have a child. I'd rather kill myself than have this child. And stared at me, stunned at what I'd said. Don't say that about our child. I look at N with pure hatred and pain in my eyes. Boys can't get pregnant. Only girls can. But I want to be a boy so badly, but I can't, and I just have to accept that. I'm not going to have a kid who thinks I'm their mother. I am a boy, so I am not having this disgusting thing inside me. Like I said, I'd rather kill myself than ever have a good-for-nothing child to grow up just like I did. I already know my mother has turned me into the exact copy of her, and I won't let my mother get what she wants. I refuse to completely mold into her skin. I look at N, only taking acceptance as an answer, but of course, he won't accept it. N stares at me, with tears flowing down his face, with the most broken face he has ever made. Suzu, you don't mean that, right? I stare right into his eyes, telling him I do, through just the pure disgust in my eyes, and pulls me even closer and rests his forehead on mine. Sorry, I'm so incredibly sorry. I never wanted you to think I was trying to force you into becoming your mother. You are a boy. You are my boy. If you don't want to be called dad or mom, then you're just our special angel. You're my baby Zuzu, and that's never going to change. I will not allow you to hurt yourself or the baby. We are keeping them just like I'm going to keep you in this cabin, even if I have to lock you in here myself. You are mine, and this child is mine. We are keeping them. Got it? And pins me down onto the cold bathroom floor. And no, if I have this thing, I'll be Lexian again. I don't want to be her. I want to be Zuzu. I want to be him, not Lexian. If I have to hurt you or my baby just to be Zuzu, I will not hesitate to. I am Zuzu. Lexian died a long time ago in a filthy ditch where she belongs. I don't need a child. I'm too young, just like my mother did when she had me. She was raped by my dad when she was only 10, even though I'm 17, 6 years older than when she had me. I'm not going to be a repeat of that stupid person. I am still a kid, and you're an adult. If you want your child, then you can have them. I don't. N raises his hand to me but stops, taking a deep breath to calm himself down. Zuzu, that doesn't mean they don't deserve to at least try to be a parent to their child. Just how you deserve to know what it feels like to have a kid who isn't scared of you. Baby, you are keeping this baby and taking care of them alongside me, even if you don't want to. And stops holding me down, letting me make a choice. Leave or stay. I choose leave. I stand up and leave the room. I unbox the painkillers, which were fentanyl patches, and debate if I really should. This could very easily kill the baby that N wants so badly. I spiral on it, if I should or shouldn't. I smile to myself, remembering how loving and manipulative N was when I first met him. But now, he seems more like a decent human being, even though he's not human. I miss when he would control me like his little doll. I wish he slapped me harder when he did. I liked the pain. N walks out of the bathroom and sees me holding the fentanyl patches. I'm too caught up in my mind to even realize and took the box out of my hands. N, am I really pregnant? And looks at me, startled by the sudden stop of silence. Yes, baby, you are. I look up at N with nothing but pain, so used to me now I don't even notice I'm in pain. I'm leaving, bye! N freaks out and rushes towards me, gripping my wrist so hard I already felt my wrist bruising. You are not going anywhere. N turns me around to look at him. I try to pull my hand away, but that just makes N tighten his grip more. N, Please, just let me go. We'll get rid of this baby one way or another. En sighs and loosens his grip. He firmly pulls me against his chest and kisses me so delicately, I feel like butterflies are trying to make me regurgitate them. En kisses me again, not letting me escape his kiss. He forcefully pushes past my lips, exploring my mouth. I wanted to pull away so badly, but I also needed this kiss. I hesitantly kiss him back, not sure how I felt about this, and takes this as an invitation for him to make out with me, which was not what I was going for. I desperately try to pull away, but En just keeps reeling me back in with deeper and deeper kisses. He danced with my tongue while holding me close to against a wall. After almost 5 minutes of not letting me get away, he finally let go. I look up at him, furious but also red as a tomato. Don't ever do that again, got it? I turn away from En and cross my arms. Oh, don't be like that, baby. You know you wanted to keep going. I turn around even more flustered. No, I did not. Stop talking to me. En picks me up without notice and practically throws me onto the couch. Hey, watch it! En ignores me and climbs on top of me. En, what the hell are you doing? En again ignores me and lays his hands on my chest. I look at him with disbelief. I wanted him off but also didn't. He was warm and comforting against my crawling skin. En, get off. I whisper, not sure if I actually meant it. En lifts his head to look at me and kisses me on the forehead. You are going to be a great dad. Don't stress about it. Just relax with me. You made me sad, and I need comfort from my favorite body pillow. I roll my eyes but melt into him anyways. I hold him in my tiny arms, barely long enough to fully wrap around his waist. I pull him up higher so I could see his face, struggling immensely. I cup En's face with tears trying to pop out of my eyes, but I don't let it happen. En, do you promise you'll take care of them? En's face melts. Yes, baby, no matter what, I will take care of you and the baby. I will always be here for you. Okay, baby? And I look at En's face, seeing my reflection in his icy blue eyes. Okay, I trust you. En kisses me, tears spilling over on both of our faces. I kiss him back, sealing our promise to each other. When we finally pull away, En and I were laughing and crying from joy, but also fear, but the good kind of fear. When we finally stopped giggling and crying, and cupped my face with the prettiest smile in the universe. Zuzu, I've loved you from the very moment I laid eyes on you. I loved how you always had an attitude and refused to give up on things. And something I plan to never give up on is you. Zuzu, will you be my boyfriend? Will you allow us to be official? I look into En's eyes, so hopeful and caring, and start crying all over again. Yes, I would love to be officially yours, forever. En lets out a sigh of relief before kissing me on the cheek. Thank you. I sit up and hug En. En, I love you too, but I'm just so scared of having a child. I'm so scared. My voice breaks with every syllable. En holds me close. I know you are, baby, but I will be right beside you forever and ever. I smile and fall asleep feeling completely safe. The memories and overloads. Chapter 12. I wake up the next morning still safe in En's protective shield. I sit up slightly to look at En's pretty face. Eyes puffy from crying. I smile and kiss him gently. En slowly wakes up to my playful kisses. Good morning, baby. How do you sleep? I slept well, thanks to you being cozy. En looks at me, covering his face. Huh? What's wrong, beautiful? En turns to look at me, blushing so hard he looked like he was about to pass out. No, my baby, come down. En slowly turns back to me, slowly fading back to normal. And, instead of a tomato, En sits up and playfully picks me up like a doll, just like he did when we first met. I giggle, enjoying the affection, and bounces me up and down on his knee, making me start laughing now, and finally stops and curls me in his lap. You're so beautiful, you know that? You're also really cute. Not to mention that big. I, I panicked and kissed him to make him stop talking. Surprising end, but he just decides to make my plan backfire by pinning me down on the couch and kissing me over and over. Ugh, stop, I can't breathe! And slowly, so, and chuckles softly against my lips, making me shiver. Stop it, Anne, you're making me flustered. And laughs. That's the point, Cupcake. I freeze, too stunned to speak. Oh no, I broke my baby. And laughs while picking me up to make me not so flustered. I cling to him, finally relaxing and feeling safe, just like I did the night before. N holds me while getting up to go make breakfast. I tighten my grasp, bracing for N to put me down, but he doesn't. And I don't feel good. Also, make extra for the baby in my belly. But you feed me. I am too weak. Ugh! I place my hand on my forehead like I'm going to faint. N rolls his eyes and kisses me on the nose. And what do babies eat? I want to give the baby yummy food they will enjoy. And smiles. Honey, fetuses don't have opinions on food. All they care about is nutrition. I pout. Well, I want to give this baby food they like because they deserve to enjoy themselves too. And doesn't answer me immediately, making me start sobbing and crying out of how he doesn't love me anymore. You don't love me anymore. You ignore me. I thought I was your boyfriend. You made me so sad. And scrambles to try and reassure me that he loves me, but I'm too busy crying to hear him. Baby, I love you so much, and I'm so happy that we are finally dating. I didn't mean to make you feel like I was ignoring you, baby. Please forgive me, sweetheart. And looks at me, looking completely miserable. I look over at him and stop crying, too mesmerized by N's ocean eyes glowing like 1,000 stars. Your eyes are really pretty. I love you, N. And looks at me confused, but relieved I stopped crying. Baby, would you like to go on a walk with me? My eyes light up like a sea of bioluminescent algae in the moonlight and the waves. Yes, please. Anne smiles and places me down. I start to cry because I feel like I'm going to puke. Anne, I don't feel good. Do something about it. This is miserable. I suddenly vomit all over Anne's shirt. I look at the vomit like it betrayed me. I'm sorry. Anne sighs before taking off the shirt, revealing beautiful abs. I then immediately remember the first time I saw them and almost passed out of embarrassment. Of course it was the night I got pregnant by this really hot guy that also might be an angel sent from above. Hello? I cover my face with my hands while dying of embarrassment, and quickly pulls me towards him and pulls away my hands from my face. I squeeze my eyes shut, then open them with shock. N, I haven't flinched for at all today. And looks at me, a wave of guilt washing over him. I soften my expression, and I try to do what he always does when I'm sad. I try to lift his chin down to look at me, but I'm too short. And I'm trying, okay? I look down in defeat and staring at me blankly before bursting out in laughter. Nice try, Buttercup, but sadly, you're too short. What a shame. I playfully shove N. Stop teasing me! N looks away for a second, and without warning, he makes the most concerning face ever. Before both of us burst out laughing. I stop laughing and look up at N, feeling so relieved he finally forgot about the start of our conversation. I hug N, feeling warm and comfortable against his bare skin. I pull my whole body into N's warmth. N picks me up and places me on the counter. Hey, put me down. Your house is too tall for me. I can't get down. And smirks at me before kissing me with his lips covered with salt. Ew! What the hell? What is wrong with you? And laughs before wiping his lips off, putting the jokes aside, and places his hands on my hips, looking at me with a knowing expression. No, just no. I am freaking pregnant, you perv. And looks at me with more want than I could even comprehend. And I swear, if you kill this weird thing growing inside me that you wanted so much, you deserve it. And stares at me with guilt. But baby, you're just so tasty, not to mention super cute and small when I have you all to myself. I start to get extremely flustered and almost pass out. And stop it. I look up at N, about to cry, my eyes shining in the hazy light from the sun, and quickly picks me up and rocks me so I don't cry. Hey, it's okay, I'm sorry for teasing you. And kisses me on the neck, right where the sensitive part is. Perv. I pout as I try to fight, but back, letting out up as I try to fight back against him. Baby, I know you like it, you just don't want to admit it. I stare at him, who's still holding me, and slightly moves his hand on my back and I jump forward. Watch it! I have a sensitive back! Also, N, I know this is kind of random and a very short turn to, the mood of the room, but I need to tell you something kind of serious. N immediately stops making breakfast and looks at me, giving his full attention to me. And I've been pregnant before. And stares at me with shock, confused, and worried. Baby, what do you mean? I look up at N, feeling guilty and embarrassed. N, my parents kicked me out when I was 5. I went to the orphanage a year later. I was trafficked for a whole entire year. I'm so scared that I will end up giving birth alone just like I did when I was 6. I don't want to give a birth alone to a child if it's dangerous. It was so scary. They held me down and I couldn't do anything. And I need you to hide this baby when I give birth. I'm still in contact with the man who got me pregnant. 6 years old. I don't want to be, but they said if I block them, they will kill my mom and dad. I don't want to be Lexine again, that stupid psycho killer. I just know that if I saw that man again in person, I would make him suffer. And looks at me with so much pain and heartbreak. I felt a physical lump in my chest. N rushes to hug me and comfort me. I start to feel weird, like I'm about to pass out or something. I blink and everything becomes foggy. N looks at me with the face I've learned to love. His eyebrows were scruffed together and his eyes were sharp. And clicks the pieces in place and sighs in relief. N picks me up and sets me down in a bright, welcoming room. N sits down next to me, ensuring I still have space while also receiving comfort. Can you tell me how old you are, sweetheart? I look up at N with shyness, but also curiosity. I'm 7. N nods to himself like he just confirmed something important. N picks up a soft teddy bear and places it in my lap. I pick it up before burying my face into it. There you go, honey. I timidly crawl over to N and sit close to him, staring at his hand. Do you want my hand? I jump back, feeling uncertain if I should trust him. I nod quickly and N gently pulls his hand into mine. I fidget with his hand, finding comfort in his touch. I circle his hand and go over a callus and jump back, overstimulating myself. I start to cry and quiver in the corner. N doesn't say anything, he just gives me space. I rock back and forth while humming. I get spooked by a spider that crawled on me in the corner and had an accident. I look up at N, feeling embarrassed and scared. Hey, you don't have to be scared. Accidents happen and we can just clean it right up. Okay? I look up at N before hesitantly crawling over to N, feeling a little embarrassed. I slowly curl up next to N, just close enough where I can hold his hand. Sir, I will clean it up. I made this mess anyway. N looks at me with sadness gleaming in his eyes. No, let me. I'm in charge of taking care of my baby Zuzu when they can't take care of themselves, so if it's okay, can I clean it up? I look at N, feeling slightly intimidated by his tall figure, even when he's sitting. Sure, I guess? And smiles before helping me get dressed into clean clothes. Sir, don't you think this is a little too much? It has a lot of expensive gems on it. Are you sure I can wear this? And smiles at me proudly. Of course, I even made them purple and red because I know those are your 2 favorite colors. I look at N with amazement, not knowing how he knew my favorite colors. Sir, how did you know? N smiles slightly, giving me a hand squeeze as well. I have my ways. I smile, I then get dizzy and confused. Oh, Mom, my head hurts. I don't feel good. I get up and walk around the room and end up leaving for the kitchen. I open my eyes to a foggy memory and wonder where N is. N, where are you? You can't leave me, right? No, 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 no. I start to spiral. I stare at the ground, living in my own world. N rushes over to me after realizing I came back to the present. Hey, sweetheart, how are you doing? I don't answer. All I see is Melkara, the man who started this whole mess of a life. My dad was just my stepdad. My real dad was Mel. He is a monster sent from the depths of hell. He paid my parents $10 million to send me to him. They took it. If it weren't for my biological father, I would still be in that house with that stupid woman who calls herself my mother. He sold me over to a foundation in Relbig City. That's where I stayed for a year while I was being sent all over the city to disgusting freaks who would do horrible things to me that I don't even want to name. But let's just say that the things I already have said are the best of all of them. I was put through, but Mel is actually the one who got me pregnant. I've been planning to see him for years, but just never was ready to face that evil, horrible person. But when I'm ready, I'm going to kill him, make him suffer until he's screaming for his mommy. And stops talking, instead just pulls me into his chest, blocking my view of the floor. I don't immediately snap back to reality, but I do start being able to hear slightly. I want to move, but I'm too far gone in my head to get to that point quickly, and kisses my forehead, whispering love into my deafened ears. And doesn't decide to move me around much. He just focuses on lifting me up just enough to where I don't touch the ground. My skin felt too tight and every movement was uncomfortable. But good thing I couldn't really move, right? I try to talk but just sigh, and slowly takes off his shirt and pulls me to his chest again. One. I say one word, so quiet I almost couldn't hear myself. I stumble out of N's arms before falling onto the cold floor. N rushes to my side before scooping me up in his arms and carrying me to the couch, and cradles me while helping me come back to the present world. I bite gently onto N's arm and melt into his skin. N plays with my hair. You know, I was never expecting to find a perfect human to devote my life to, but I guess everything can happen in certain circumstances. Zuzu, you're my perfect doll. I love it when you wear the pretty clothing I choose for you. You're so yummy. You're just so cute. My baby who's mine. I will surely marry you one day. Don't worry. You're too cute to pass along. I'm going to keep you forever. I always love how tiny you are. It makes you even cuter. My eyes begin to sting with tears before falling off the edge of my eye. And props my head up to look at him, and then wipes away my tears with his thumb. Baby, you are safe with me. You're my sweet little teddy bear that is so yummy. Tastes just like blueberries, my fate. You made it really hard to control myself. You make it really hard to control myself when you do cute things like this. You make me want you sooner. But too bad I can't have you 'cause you're pregnant. In one sudden moment, my brain rushes back to M. I sat up feeling so dizzy I couldn't even tell I fell back down. And I start coughing tiny specks of blood before turning into vomit. And jolts up, his playful demeanor quickly turning into panic. But baby, what's wrong? Why are you coughing up blood? I just stare at N, my head spinning and flipping violently. The room just felt like a hallucination, like it was just my mind making things up. I stumble off the couch trying to reach for the bathroom, but crumble to the ground instead. The Numbness of Melkara. Chapter 13. I wake up on a bed with bloodstains surrounding me. I try to sit up, but get hit with absolutely nothing. I literally could not think or feel or move in my control. It was like I was being a puppet played by its strings. I feel my mind slipping away from the physical body of mine and beginning to hide behind the body I once knew as my own. Oh, and what's happening? My voice sounded distant, like I'm not the one talking, but rather someone else. I stumble out the door with tiny sparks flashing in the corner of my eyes. I look around, but it doesn't feel like me. My mind spins and twists into shapes I didn't even know existed, while I fumble around the hallway trying to stay upright while also feeling like I'm spinning in all directions. I crash into N without even realizing. N hugs me tightly and sobs in my shoulder. I just go idle, like my body is just slowly rocking and I just feel completely out of my mind. I quickly hum a flatline tune over and over, like it's the only thing I could do, but I think it was actually exactly that. I realized the terrifying reality of my situation. I can't do anything on my own. I'm in the way, and I can't help it. I always am able to get out of the way, but right now I can't. I crumble to the ground, gasping and coughing up blood and bile. The floor's previously light brown hue turns into redwood. I gag and cough and vomit, and all in the midst of this, my chest begins to shrink, closing in on itself, completely out of my control once again, and drops to his hands and knees to help me clean up and comfort me. My hands shake beneath my weight before giving out, dragging me into my own mess, and frantically pulls me to his chest, my eyes and cheeks hollow, and touches my cheek before jolting his hand away. You're so cold. Are you sick? I don't answer. In fact, I don't even hear him. The only thing I can hear is static and the man who shouldn't ever love me. Melikar is the only one I can hear. And all I hear Mel telling me is, I love you so much, cutie. I can't wait to have your beautiful body all to myself again. Over and over and effing over. My head lolls slightly and ends. My head lolls slightly and ends hands. My eyes are so dead and emotionless it makes you feel depressed even if you aren't, and holds my pale and carved face looking at me with the most helpless eyes he can muster. I close my eyes unintentionally and wake up in a dull, lifeless room. I try to sit up, but I can't. I struggle to lift my arm above my head to look at it. My arm almost looks like it is only bones, no flesh. My arms shake violently under myself as I try to get up again. I yelp in agony. That strangely doesn't feel like pain at the same time that it does. I sit up and look around the empty room. And my peanut, where are you? I whisper, like my voice was broken. I weakly climb out of bed and crawl to the door, too weak to stand. I open the door to N sitting in the forest, playing with a little kid. I stare at N, wanting him to notice me. N sees me and snaps the neck, the child, smiling sweetly. I scramble back, tears flooding my eyes just to fall into a dark pit with every voice in my life that has told me I was useless and worthless. I squeeze my eyes shut and scream and cry. I open my eyes again to find myself on the couch with N shaking me desperately to wake up. I try to grab at my chest as I gasp and hyperventilate. N pulls my hands away and embraces me, kissing me gently on the shoulder. Shh, it's okay, you're safe. We are safe. Both my babies are safe. I'm not going anywhere. Tell me what you need. I will give you every last valuable thing in this world. If that makes you smile, I will do anything to make you smile again. I know you were scared and I am too, but if we both have us here, we can be strong. I love you both so much I could die. Tell me anything. I will do anything you want me to. All you have to do is tell me. I'm here. I finally let my dance break and scream and cry and shoulder uncontrollably, so much it made me feel dizzy. I gradually stop crying and fall asleep in N's care. N stays up all night to make sure I'm safe. No, just don't stop. Don't touch me. Tears cover my eyelids before falling overboard. N holds me closer, wiping away my tears. No, please don't do this. Stop! I need a break, please. Please, Melkar. I jolt awake, hugging myself desperately, trying to leave N's grasp. I breathe hard and shake violently. Don't touch me! I can't do this again! No! I hug my knees and rock back and forth, repeating no over and over. N lowers his head into a predatory stare, getting overly protective of me. His chest hums a low growl, like it knows something I don't. Who the hell is Melkara? I freeze, completely getting taken over by emotions. No, stop, I can't do the scaring man. No heart, please. No. I begin to shake and cry and scream, twisting on the couch and with discomfort. Hey, it's just me. I won't hurt you. It's N. Do you remember me? And gently lifts my head up and holds my body still. See, it's just me. No mean Mel. I promise, baby. My screams and cries suddenly cut out. My screams turn into babbling and soft whimpering. I hold my head and hum, and hesitantly reaches his arm out to me before swiftly acquiring me in his arms. You are my baby, and always my baby. You're so cute, my love. You make my chest ache for how cute you are. I love when you are needy. It's adorable. And hums happily to help me calm down, and gently places me on the ground in my playroom and helps me change my clothing, and curls me in his arms before handing me a passy. I take it and start to feel a wave of relief. I press my face against N's leg while he played with my hands. Tears still form in my eyes despite N's best efforts, though. I start to cry again, turning red and splotchy. My eyes turning red and splotchy. I thrash my body vigorously, accidentally bumping my head on the wall, making me cry even more. N tries to control me, but it's no use. I thrash and kick at N, who looks completely distressed. Baby, I love you, my sweet baby boy. You're gonna be 1 year older soon. You're getting so big. My baby, it's so cute it hurts. I love it when you lay your head on my chest. You're so cute and beautiful when you do that. You're my one and only baby. You're my love. I stop crying a little. The talking makes me distracted. I sit up with miserable eyes full of deep pain within. I stare at N, eyes puffy and face tear-stained. N sighs in relief before gathering me in his lap and kisses my face over and over. I will keep you safe, little one. I promise. I love you too much to let you go, even if it means leaving you to keep you safe and protected. I will do anything to be here for you, my little bunny. N leans against the wall, giving me more space to roam. I climb on N like a jungle gym. I climb all over N's head and shoulders as well as his legs before finally settling down on N's chest, breathing steadily. I stare up at N as best as I could despite my burying my face in his chest. I stare into N's lovely eyes, the same eyes that made me remember that people can still love you, that people can still. Oh my gosh. I stare into N's lovely eyes, the same eyes that made me remember that people can love you still. A single tear drifts across my cheek onto N's shoulder. My little baby, let's get you to bed, shall we? I stare at N, feeling scared but hesitant to trust. N takes my silence as a yes and carries me to my pillow nest. I curl up and secretly steal one of N's shirts to snuggle with. I feel my mind slowly coming back, feeling disoriented but more present than before. And I inhale the scent of N through his shirt, completely getting swallowed by his scent. N stops walking to the kitchen and looks back at me before smiling and continuing. I wake up out of nowhere around 3 or 4 a.m. I can cautiously get up out of my bed, feeling uneasy. I grab a knife and quickly sneak around the house to see what was happening. I heard a creak in the doorboard right behind me, and I swing around and chucking the knife at whatever I heard. I squinted in the dark to see, realizing I had actually hit something with the knife, due to the knife not falling to the ground with any sound. To my horror, it was a man wearing a suit with a distinct logo on the front. The Nota Katra organization. This can only mean one thing. Mel found me. I open my mouth to scream, but nothing comes. Don't you effing scream, Lexi. I won't hesitate to shoot you, or rather, your baby. I was ordered to find you and bring you back to your father so it can be reunited. We can either go the hard way or the easy way. It makes my job easier if you choose the easy one, but I know you're a stubborn son of a bee, so of course I was prepared to go the hard way. I know you very well. After all, I am your uncle. I slowly back away, not looking where I was going. In an instant, I tumbled down the stairs, gasping and crying uncontrollably from the pain and the possibility that I had lost my baby. I tried to stand, but just crumpled to the ground like a rag doll. No, please come! I began to hear frantic footsteps out of my room. It was N. Ow! And rushes towards me before even removing the threat from the space. Oh, no! Who the hell did this to you? Answer me! Susu, please! I point weakly at the stairs, even though and literally passed Uncle Beckon as he was coming down the stairs, but whatever, and went rigid as he stared up slowly at my uncle. You are going to effing die, you bee! And began running up the stairs before stabbing Beck more times than I could count. Die, you stupid bee! You hurt my baby and now you will pay! I tried to keep my eyes open to make sure N would be safe, but the blood loss was definitely starting to impact me. I glanced one final time at N before everything went black. I lay lifeless in a massive puddle of blood. I couldn't keep my eyes open, but for whatever reason, I was still able to hear. It was kind of going in and out, but I still could hear either way. I tried to listen to see if N was okay, but after a while, everything went silent. I felt myself going physically numb and cold as my body continued shutting down. I tried to hear but realized I can't hear anymore, finally blacking out completely. So that is my story so far. If you want part 2, part 3, let me know. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. But I'm still adding on to it. I'm letting you know I'm going to be adding like 400 more pages soon. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe.